and welcome to Leading Entrepreneurs of the World. I'm Stelios Hatzakis, CEO of One Business World. Leading Entrepreneurs of the World features entrepreneurs, founders, and business leaders presenting on cutting-edge topics and the latest industry developments. Today, we're very pleased to welcome corporate leader and visionary entrepreneur, Mustafa Alabdallah. Mustafa Alabdallah is the founder and CEO of WIN, a warehouse integration company in Saudi Arabia. Prior to founding WIN, Mustafa worked at Aramco Mobil Refinery for 26 years, after which he devoted himself to establishing and managing WIN. WIN is an online platform and marketplace for the management of surplus and excess oil and petrochemical industrial inventory amongst industrial companies in Saudi Arabia, the Gulf region, and around the world. At WIN, Mustafa and his team try to fill the gap between sellers and buyers in an effort to maximize material utilization, improve integration, and reduce any loss from surplus industrial inventory. So the sellers are able to easily list and effectively market any surplus industrial materials on the WIN platform, while the buyers are able to conveniently find and securely buy industrial materials that they might need. Mustafa, we are very happy to have you here with us to hear more about your efforts at WIN and about the challenges and solutions of managing surplus industrial inventory. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm glad to be with you.
And thank you. Welcome. You can easily share also through the share screen the presentation.
Okay. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Can you see the slides?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Excellent. Okay. Let me start. Thank you for having me in this presentation. And the reason I'm here is to share my experience. This is a story about a company that has established recently. It's considered to be a startup. And the reason for starting the company is to solve a pain and fill a gap. I noticed there is a gap in industry based on my experience, because I worked in Saudi Aramco company for 26 years, and I noticed this gap, which is the lack of integration between companies. So whenever there is a need for one spare part in one company, they really struggle in getting this spare part. And the common solution they do is to try to find it from outside the country. This takes really long lead time and custom clearance, and they face a lot of delay, and this impacts the operation of the company. So why not, if there is a platform that really connects the companies together, the warehouses, and shows the material that is really not needed by individual company. So the other company can utilize such material. So this is the basic idea I came with for the company. We established the company, and we started communicating with the Saudi industry in terms of oil and gas, and we managed to have a contract with one of the biggest petrochemical plants in Saudi Arabia. Let me first introduce myself. I'm Mustafa Alabdallah. I'm a chemical engineer. Worked in Saudi Aramco company for 26 years. And as Mr. Stelis mentioned, that decided to devote my time to establish WIN company. And I call it WIN because it is a company really focusing on a win-win scenario. So the seller, which is the company having the material, excess material, is really winning by selling those material and cash the inventory at a good price, rather than using the traditional method of selling in an auction, in traditional auction, which is the only way of selling the excess material currently. They only get 1 to 5% out of the book value. Uh, but with having our company, we try our best to find more buyers, either locally or internationally, and give them a bigger return, like for example, 20%. And we have many cases that proving that we can get 20, 25% from the deal. So it's much better than having 1%. At the same time, the buyer is beneficial for him because he will get the same material that he's taking from outside, but at a much better discounted rate. For example, instead of having it at 100%, he can have it at 25%. So it's a win-win scenario. And there is also environmental benefit out of it for having the wind company in the region, especially in the chemical side, because companies used to store the chemicals in the warehouses. And in case if they don't need a big amount of such chemical, what they do is that they keep storing them for long years until they get close to expiration dates. And when they get expired, here is the problem that they just go give it to a waste company where they collect those expired chemicals and they bury it under the ground or dump it as a waste. So there is a question mark. This is an environmental issue. So we need to find a solution for it. One solution that come up with WIN is to do proactive action. Uh, have a list of all these chemicals and do analysis and put them in the platform and try to, if you have like, for example, 100 ton of this chemical and you only need 20 ton in the coming year, then you have 80 ton as a surplus. And you know that 80 tons will not be used in the coming 5 years, for example. So you have to plan for it and you can put it in our website and we can sell it for you, find a buyer that can utilize this chemical instead of waiting until they get expired. So this is where the environmental side comes in the picture. The other side is that one of the benefits and advantages of WIN is that instead of really, manufacturing again and waste energy, you can utilize the piece of equipment, utilize the spare part in another company, in the operation of another company. So instead, the other company go to the manufacturer and ask him to manufacture again the same part, the same equipment, and waste the energy. Why not utilize this equipment that is really settled down in his neighbor warehouse? So this is where the environment picture comes into the picture. With that introduction, I just want to go through a few slides with you, if you allow me. This is the board member of the company. We are a company that is really sign a contract with one of the big petrochemical companies and also supported by Aramco VC, which is the investment arm of Aramco in Saudi Arabia. They look at the emerging companies, startups in the country, and they supported them financially and also by technically and logistic. And they decided to analyze our company. They spent about almost 6 months analyzing our company, and they decided to join and be a partner, equity partner in our company. So this is good because it gives you good back, and support to our operation and our name. So this is the board of members. I'm the CEO. All of them, as you can see, they have huge experience, an average of 25 years of experience in oil and gas sector. Here is the just a screenshot of the website or the platform. It's a platform that's really focusing on selling either direct sale, which means that it's a fixed price, or auction sale, where the seller decide to give it this material in an auction. So that's where we sell the auction, and we have done auction before for one of the power plants in Saudi Arabia. We did it online, and there are more and more auctions. Yes. As I mentioned, this is a new concept in Saudi Arabia, and selling industrial equipment and spare parts through online is something totally new in the region, and especially in Saudi Arabia. We have a lot of e-commerce platforms focusing on retail, but not in the industrial spare part and equipment. So this is something new. That's why there are a lot of challenges, as from the title of the webinar. There are a lot of challenges in this area. This business model and concept is not new in the world, because it has been started in USA, in Canada, in Europe, Australia, and other part of the world a long time ago. Maybe some of the companies existed more than 40 years ago. But in the region here, it's new. And that's why we are facing a lot of challenges at the beginning, convincing companies to participate and share their equipment list and the spare part list. So this is one of the challenges that we are facing. I'm gonna speak about the challenges here in the coming slides. And I'm gonna mention the solution together with the challenges to save some time. I can show you here some kind of equipment that we are selling in the website and in the platform. Here we have a mixing machine for plastic mixing machine, and this is one of the items that really it's already been sold, and it was located in Riyadh, in one of the big companies, and we managed to sell it. So it's good that it's now being reutilized again by another company. This is a full plant in one of the big companies in Saudi Arabia, and it's under process to sell this plant. And whenever there is an expansion, the old plant need to be sold, and this required dismantling and also a lot of engineering work. And what we do is, what our part is to find buyers for those plants that need to be sold. These are also exchangers. These are brand new exchangers. As you can see, they are really, only 1 year old, and they are stainless steel shell, but the inside is titanium. So if you sell this in a public auction, they will be sold as as a scrap. Unfortunately, the traditional public auction, they sell those by weight, by ton. So imagine if you waited, this is not gonna give you anything. So the return is really very low, 1 to 5%. While if you find a customer nearby who needs this equipment for his new project, then the question is, why not? Why not we can utilize this equipment again and reduce the wasted energy, reduce the time for delivering, and so many good benefit out of resale of this kind of equipment. I'm just going to give you these 3 examples to get an idea of the gap that we have and we try to fill. And now let's go into the challenges and solutions. I'm gonna talk about quickly about the challenges and give solution in the same talk. I classified it into two categories. One is the front end challenges, which is connected with the companies that have the surplus material. So those companies, they are facing problems and challenges. And I list some of them here based on my experience working in Aramco for 26 years. One of the problems, as shown in the first one, is inaccurate ordering. This is due to wrong demand estimation. Whenever they estimated at the beginning of the project, they just add like 5%, 10%. Sometimes they add more, more fat into the estimation. And the reason for that is that in Saudi Arabia, we are considered to be, remotely from the manufacturing company in US, Japan, and China. So it takes really long time to deliver the material and also involve custom clearance and delivery. So tendency of ordering more is there. And this is what happened. They order, for example, instead of ordering two pieces, they ordering 10 pieces. And instead of ordering spare part for 1 year, they order spare part for 2 years. So this inaccuracy of ordering is one of the issues that, or the challenges for the front end, which is the selling company. And in order to solve this, we have to increase the awareness with the seller company and the companies that have the surplus material. They have to balance between the need and the ordering. And this comes with the awareness comes with assigning some specialized company in this kind of analysis of the inventory and data management. I will come about this issue in the coming slide. Okay, the other challenge is the weak inventory management, and what I mean about this is the duplication. For example, if there is a company that has many branches, one branch receives the material and give it a number and a code. The other branch receives the same material and give the another code and another number. And the third one give another number, another code. So we end up with having the same material in different warehouses with different numbering and different coding. And this is an issue. So this is one of the inventory management challenge. This need to be avoided because at the beginning, because with the time, this will be accumulating and accumulating and accumulating and causing big problem in the future. And it's going to be very difficult to resolve after so many years. So the earlier you face this issue and resolve it, the better for the company and less cost to the company. And the other problem or other challenge is the tendency of keeping the material for the end user. As an end user, I was also an end user one day where I was working in Aramco because I work in the process engineering department and chemical engineer. I tend to keep the material with me in my department because I say, okay, maybe I will need it in the future. Maybe a shutdown will happen and then I will need it. Even though I have 10 of them, but I still keep those 10 in my hand. So tendency of keeping the material is an issue. And I will tell you how, this can be resolved by awareness. Basically, all the challenges can be used by awareness, and this awareness comes not only from inside; it has to come from a company that's really taking care of all this data management and surplus inventory management and material management. The third one I mentioned here is the delay of from management to take the decision of writing off. The management has a responsibility to make a decision quickly, because if they keep delaying the decision, and 1 year after a year and after a year, and they end up with having instead of dealing with the problem early, they end up with dealing the problem very late, and this lead to accumulating the surplus material in the warehouse and causing a lot of warehousing issue and maintenance issue of the surplus material. So this is another issue. The third challenge is the restricted returns policy from manufacturer, and this is normal because manufacturer, when they sell you something, they don't want to have a return of that material or spare part or equipment back to them. So they put a restriction on returning back those material. With the negotiation with those manufacturers, and we finding other interested buyer from the contractors, ABC contractors, you can find a solution for this. And this is what we do, is to help the companies finding a buyer for those material other than the manufacturers. And also we can talk to the manufacturer to accept the material at a lower price. The other challenge is the poor awareness, and awareness is the really solution. You have to increase the awareness in all the mentioned aspects. So here is the awareness, is that some of the companies, they don't appreciate the problem. They don't know that keeping the material will cost almost the surplus material costing them 20% of the original value. This comes from factors like having storage cost, heating, cooling cost, security of the material, and loss of sale opportunity. At the time, the more time you keep it, the loss of opportunity is there more, and depreciation of the value is more. It's like an iceberg. You only see the tip of the iceberg, showing the small cost, but there is a lot of hidden cost. The workers in the refinery and the management of the companies, they don't notice it. So they have to increase the awareness about huge cost of having the material in the warehouse. This is very important, and this can be done through having assigning a third party who really does a review for the whole inventory and do big management, extensive management analysis and control, and give them a very good, clear, sustainable and sustainable report to the management and to the company individual, and increase the awareness to them. So this is the front end issue and challenges with the solution. The back end, is the one that really WIN company is focused on. We focus on the back end of selling those surplus material for the company that's suffering from having surplus material. Let me tell you about the challenges in this back end part. The first challenge is the overprice. The problem with the companies that have the surplus material, they tend to ask for very high price, similar to the price that they bought the material at, which is not reasonable. When you buy the material, you might buy it during certain condition where you need it urgently, and that's why the selling company, the manufacturer, sell it you at a high price. At the same time, sometimes the material is bought during high value or high price of the market due to high raw material prices, and you cannot really sell it at the same price. So in order to solve this issue with the selling party or selling company, we try to convince them and explain to them that we have to meet the market price, and we have to reduce the price to less than 50% of the market price. And that's why we get the material, find the market price for them, and then go 50% below the market price, at least 50%, maybe sometimes maybe 60%, 70%. Why is that? This is because in order to sell the material, you have to give attractive price. Otherwise, it will not be sold and it will be settled down and stay on the warehouse for a long time. So you have to make it attractive, and you have to provide an attractive price to the buyers. So this is the first challenge, and this is the solution for it. No photos. One of the issues, because we are online platform, you have to convince the buyer. And one of the biggest way and a very important way is to visually attract the buyer. And the only way for that is to give him very good photo and actual photo of the material. And this is very important. Unless you have the photo, it's very difficult to sell it. And you have to have a very good photo as well. In case if there is no photo, which is the case for many, companies, they don't have photos. We have to ask the companies to make the photos, and this is what we did. We asked the companies to make the photos. If not, then we go and take the photos ourselves from WIN team and put it in the website. In case if there is no photo and this cannot be taken by any means, then we have to use typical photo, but there must be a photo in the platform. So this is one challenge also, and this is the solution for it. There is also another challenge, which is the no warranty. And so some of the sellers companies, they don't have a warranty also because it's a second hand. So it's normal that second hand, although they are new equipment, they don't have a warranty. So you need to talk to the manufacturer, try to get the extension of the warranty, or you can talk to the third-party inspection company like TUV, SGS, and try to get inspection certificate. This will give confidence to the buyer. So this is the solution for it. Another is the delay in selling the spare parts or the equipment, and this delay is due to management decision not taking in the right time. The buyer decided to buy, and he has his money ready, but it takes time sometimes for the management to release the material from the warehouse. And we have to convince the management to deal faster. And this is what we do in WIN, is to talk to the management of the seller, try to push them to make it faster to allow the deal to be closed. Otherwise, the buyers will not wait. And this is normal. One of the issues is the no MTCs. MTCs or documentation like data sheet, like like drawings, like test certificates. Those kind of documents, they are very essential. Without those documents, those items can be considered as a scrap, because no other party will accept to use the equipment unless there is a certificate comes with it, because it's like the catalog. I mean, they cannot deal with it unless they have this kind of catalog and reference in case if there is any failure in the future. So this is required. And in case if there is a missing thing, what we do is we try to get the purchase order number, and we try to communicate with the vendor or the manufacturer. for the buyer, or asks the buyer to do this step. This is how it is resolved. But we have to find the NTCs and drawings. The other challenge is the access and gate passes. You know, dealing with industrial sector, big companies, you have they have policies and they have access restrictions, and you have to arrange gate passes, and this takes time. For example, when we try to arrange access for a buyer, it takes at least 24 hours. So sometimes maybe 3 days to get the access permits. So this is one of the issues that delays the deal closing, and it causes a challenge for us. And the solution is to work with the companies and arrange between seller and buyer and make this process faster in advance, arranging in advance. The last thing is I mentioned here as one of the challenges is the advance payment. Advance payment is companies, big companies, industrial companies, they don't go by credit. They don't accept credit payment. So what they accept is advance payment, full payment. And I can understand this because this is the way they are dealing with the market. But in order to resolve this, we arrange with financial crediting offices and banks to link the buyer and seller. So, for example, if the buyer doesn't have cash or doesn't pay in advance, we can link the bank of the buyer with the bank of the seller, and we can arrange a letter of credit. And this can be done through the bank crediting system, and the seller is paid in advance, and then the buyer is dealing with the bank to give it in three months or 6 months or a year. So this is one of the services that we try to help and resolve the advance payment issue. This is one of the solutions to help in closing the deals. So these are the back end challenges, and I shed light on the solution for those back end challenges. That's basically what we are dealing with. So in summary, I'm trying to summarize what I just mentioned here. We have front end and back end. The front end here, I can show you. It's here, for example, is the inventory optimization and management. And this is what I mentioned at the beginning. It's the front end. You have to optimize the inventory. You have to do good management. And also, as a result, you identify what are the excess material, what are the surplus material, exact identification of that. Because you need this information in going to the next step, which is our step in our company focus, which is the marketing and sale. So this is the basically summarize the process. It comes from inventory up to final selling and marketing of the surplus material. This is an example of the front end. For example, bearing. If you have a bearing, duplication is one of the big issue. You have the bearing, different names, and here is the attributes and the category of classifying the bearing, for example. This is the bearing. And it's a noun, a class, subclass, part number, type, manufacturer, outside diameter, with all these categories. Now, sometimes they give this different name, but the part is exactly the same. So how to do that? You have to do extensive data analysis, and this is done through specialized companies who are really good in doing this kind of analysis and help the companies hugely in making the analysis and come up with very good material identification, spare part identification, and surplus material identification. So this is just an example. And this is the kind of outcome of the software they run. They run a software and they come up with the equipment duplication, material duplication, in kingdom manufacturer, outside the kingdom manufacturer, the cost of inventory, material inventory, the approved material in the SAP and Oracle system. All of these is really comprehensive and extensive analysis through an automated software. Then a report is generated and shared with the management of the company. And then comes with the solution of excess material. What is it exactly? And here where the job of WIN company comes. After having the analysis done by our sister company, we are dealing with, we do all of this work, and then we take the result and we sell the excess material through our platform. This is the last example of what material management is done. Is one of the aspects is to do warehouse inventory management. So warehouse is one of the aspects that we need to focus in the cycle of having good management, which is managing the warehouse. This is including obtaining and classifying the list of materials, stocked material in the warehouse, physical inventory data validation, validate storage parameter like whether it requires a warehouse, it was a shelter, open area, AC, cold area. Also including physical countdown inspection. You go inside and the company that is allocated and assigned this job has to go and do the physical counting. Transfer of the material to another storage for meeting the condition, optimize the warehouse process, maximize the warehouse space utilization, whether you put big items here, small items here, electronic items here, mechanical items here, and this kind of classification and optimization. Also minimizing the warehouse space utilization, develop prevention plan and repair in case of some of the items are damaged, you have to be removed and repair it and put it back again in case if it is repairable. All of this is done by a third party. So the company who is suffering from this kind of thing, they have to select a very experienced company. Otherwise, the pain will continue, the problem will continue, and the stock that is really miss of the stock is we're gonna continue. So we have to select the right company, a very good company that really does the work exactly as required. This is the end of the presentation. I hope I try to provide my story and my experience in this few minutes and in this webinar. And I hope I can, I managed to provide some good hints and good, background about my experience in this regard.
Mustafa, what a very detailed, insightful, informative, and interesting presentation. Thank you.
Thank you.
It is great to see how efficient inventory management and the management of surplus industrial inventory allows for and enables an overall sustainable inventory management that is good for the organizations involved. Since it is good for the company that wants to sell its surplus inventory, it is good for the company that is looking to buy these industrial materials, while at the same time, it is good for the environment, minimizing potential pollution and contamination caused by excess materials and chemicals disposal, as you said. So yes, it looks like sustainability is a key component of WIN's corporate strategy, which is wonderful to see. Many times, and especially in heavy industrial production, we see large conglomerates like Aramco implementing corporate sustainability strategy. But it's not always easy for smaller companies and startups. So it's great to see that WIN, even though WIN is not a manufacturer, but an e-commerce transactional marketplace, to lead by example. And it seems like the smaller manufacturers and warehouses should be willing to deal with a company like WIN to enhance any sustainability approach that they might want to introduce and implement, whether they are sellers or buyers. Would you
Yes.
say?
Yeah, exactly. And I fully agree with you. We have started with dealing with the big companies, Sabic and Aramco and other big companies, but we did not really forget to invite smaller companies to join us and give us their surplus material, because the real every sector in the industry and other than the industry also, every company facing the same surplus accumulation and surplus material issue. And the good thing about the smaller companies is that they are more flexible in terms of making the decision quickly. For example, the decision of taking to write off the material and make it ready to be released from the warehouse to the buyer is very quick because they are smaller. And also getting inside and arranging the logistic to move the material from the warehouse to the buyer is much easier. You don't need to have a gate pass for 24 days or 3 days to arrange for all of this logistics. So definitely having smaller means that it's less less time taking and less regulations and policies to arrange it.
We are going right now, let's say, through a pandemic that has impacted to some extent demand, industrial production, supply, distribution, and it looks like and it sounds like the WIN platform, the WIN surplus inventory management platform, is an even more valuable solution in an environment like this.
Exactly. Although the whole economy has been impacted, and I mean impacted means that the overall number of projects has dropped, and also some of the projects have been cancelled, and less modification, less new projects coming because of the pandemic. But at the same time, the operating companies, they need still spare parts and they need to continue operation. And because of the pandemic, there is a problem and the challenge of the logistic. Bringing material from outside the country is really, has been a big problem during the pandemic, and it's obvious problem. It's facing the whole world is facing this issue. So having a platform that really maximizing the utilization of the local content. The local content means that within the country, you can try to link and integrate the companies together and make full utilization of whatever available in our hands. And it's not small. Whatever available is a big. People tends to accumulate surplus material, big amount. And what we are trying to do is to expose those material to the others. So company A knows about what company B has, and they link together and they integrate. And this is great during the pandemic period.
And with regards to, let's say, industrial materials, there is a wide range of categories of industrial materials, components, and parts that WIN, as a B2B inventory marketplace and exchange, is able to list, promote, and sell through the platform: mechanical, electrical, chemical, construction related. So
Yes.
then let's say one question might be, how expandable would you say the WIN e-commerce transactional marketplace would be with regards to the range of products, parts, components that could be listed, promoted, and sold through the platform? What industries can benefit from using WIN? And are there industries that might also benefit by using the WIN marketplace?
Yeah, this is one of the very good question. Thank you for the question. This is very good question because really this is one of the factors that make WIN Aramco, which is the Aramco VC arm of Aramco, they decide to join us and be a partner. Is the this concept is expandable. WIN concept and business model is expandable. Expandable in two ways basically. One is the sectors, because it's not limited to oil and gas sector. The reason we started in oil and gas sector because I'm from the oil and gas sector. I worked for there for 26 years. I know the sector very well. I know where to go and whom to talk to. I know the companies. I know the pain. But that's why I started with oil and gas. But we have a plan to go after we be strong in oil and gas sector, after we make good story in oil and gas sector, then move to and expand to other sectors. And when I talk to other sectors, I mean all kind of sectors, because this is a common pain. I'm talking about construction sector. I'm talking about medical sector. I'm talking about military sector. All kind of sectors. Aviation sectors also, they have a problem linking things together. The airlines in one company, they need a piece of an airplane from another company. They don't know that the other company own that piece, and they have to order it from outside. And the plane is sitting in the airport, and it's not operating. So why not to have a platform that really goes to all kind of sectors? So this is one side. The other side is the geographical side. We started with Saudi Arabia, and we plan to go for GCC and rest of the world. And this is what we have in the long-term plan. But we start here because really Saudi Arabia is the biggest industrial hub in the region. And if we succeed here, we can go to other sectors, other geographical locations.
Mustafa, again, thank you for taking the time and for your presentation and participation at the Leading Entrepreneurs of the World series. Congratulations to you and your team for having developed an efficient technological platform that provides such a value-adding solutions to various organizations, big and small, from within so many industries, assisting them in effectively dealing with the challenging task of managing surplus inventory. As you said, and as the WIN name implies, it is truly a win-win situation for all involved.
Yes.
Thank you, and we look forward to speaking with you again soon.
Thank you so much for giving me the time. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mustafa.